Hello, my little goblins are back at it again, and this time we're playing S-Force. This deck is absolutely broken. Don't pay attention to the name. It's definitely not foreshadowing anything. So this deck I created, I was in a sweatshop and I created this deck, and I really worked hard. This deck is someone else made it. I'm gonna have their name listed down below in the description. I'm gonna also have their YouTube channel linked. As I'm recording this, I just forget. I think his name's Ace Yu-Gi-Oh, if I can remember correctly, but it will be down in the description, so check him out if you want to see his take on it. I mean, he doesn't really say anything. It's just him playing games with the deck. Let's talk about the deck real quick before we get into this. Pretty much S-Force is an interesting archetype. It's kind of almost like a reverse Mech Knight, where Mech Knight you kind of want to be going first. You want to be kind of going second to punish your opponent for playing cards in columns. This deck you kind of want to be going first, so you can kind of set up your board to interrupt your opponent. And the main interruptions are going to be like Gravitino, if it's in the same column as a monster, when that monster leaves the field, it gets banished, which works really, really well with S-Force Chase, because this card bounces cards on the field, so it's has good synergy there. Other than that, we're going to be looking to synchro climb with the deck with these Hop Ear Squadrons, which is why we're running Noble Knight Shield Bearer to search it. You can do some pretty sweet plays with this, especially with Excel Synchron Stardust, because this makes it the synchro that you make with this is unaffected by card effects, activate effects. So it's pretty good. But yeah, that's kind of, you just want to disrupt your opponent. Pretty much that's the whole game plan of this. And one of our big board breakers is S-Force Justify. So like if you can manage to break your opponent's board, you go into Justify it and you attack, and you can banish a bunch of monsters with its effect. Because when this card attacks, all the arrows that it points to, and this effect happens in the damage step, so all the effects that this points to, all these cards that get banished. So if I attack, let's say, some fourth monster in the monster zone over here, it will banish the 3 monsters here, and I still attack and kill this thing. So I can take out 4 monsters at once with this. So pretty interesting. We're gonna get into some games. You guys can see how the deck's played, and yeah, should be fun. Hello, my little goblins. We're here at game number 1, and our hand's actually pretty decent. We do get Maxi, but this deck doesn't really get hit that hard by Maxi, to be completely honest. The only kind of time it's annoying is if you activate your Rappa effect. But with this current hand that we have, like, it actually doesn't really hurt us that much. So we're going to set and pass. Our opponent's going to activate Harpy's Feather Duster, which is really annoying because now we just can't use the S-Force. And then we're getting red rebooted. So our opponent's just better at the game than us. But again, we have this Hop Ear Squadron. There goes my back row. Bye-bye. Our opponent is playing Numeron, so the good thing is you would think like, oh, you're gonna get OTK, but this deck can actually play through quite a bit. So we're gonna activate Hop Ear Squadron. We're gonna go into shooting Riser Dragon, and this card is going to allow me to make this into a level 6, and then boom, we go Chen Ying. And this 100 attack decrease is actually what makes me not die this turn. Because it doubles their current attack, so this is going to double to 18, and this doubles to 30. Like, it actually lowers the attack significantly over time. But here we go. Remember, he can't really take that many hits either. He's at 500 life points. Now he's at 72. So I essentially lowered his attack 800, so which lets me live. So now he goes into Megaclops, passes. And you might be saying, well, now you have to deal with Megaclops. Well, we actually deal with it. It's not too bad to deal with it. So here we go. Pop goes the Weasel. Boom. Special summon. You get Trap. I mean, pretty easy. We literally just wait until his end phase and we use Trap. We protect our card because of the field spell. He didn't pay attention. And then we bounce. And that's going to be a GG. And he's dead. Well, wasn't that easy? This deck might be broken. This deck actually might be OP. I'm starting to change my mind. Alrighty, we're here at game number 2 against Twin Tail D. Our opening hand is pretty ass. But again, our opponent Maxi us, which is going to be a very common theme, us getting Maxi every game. But we just gonna, well, honestly, our hand was so bad, we had nothing else to do anyway, so Maxi was kind of fine. So he drew new cards off of that. He plays Regain, and this match is really stupid, but it just goes to show you like what this deck can play through, right? Like it just goes to show like game knowledge is important. So like keeping him off his normal summon, unless he has quick launch or something, like it actually prevents him from like extending the board pretty bad. But our opponent does have a crossout designator, and he's also Yugi in disguise. He top decks quick launch off the fucking Regained. Pretty neat. So I'm gonna activate Maxi here, and our opponent makes a fatal error of not reading our cards. So since he didn't read our cards, when he goes into Recharger, he banishes the Recharger because he set it here, which this card, remember, when cards leave the field, they get banished if they're in the same column. So now, if you guys don't know, there's no dark or light monsters in the graveyard, and this guy's 100% has Bestials in his hand. Because after he goes into Striker Dragon, I'm gonna Ash his Striker, and then this is gonna be game over because he's not gonna be able to go into any rockets to extend, and he probably has a Bestial that he can't use. So GG. Alrighty, we're here with another game, and again, this honestly, it's kind of sad, but our deck is really bad at OTKing unless you open like the absolute nuts, right? But I honestly, like, it's just really hard to OTK with this deck. And then we Ash here, don't worry. Never mind, they call by it. I actually think we probably could have had like a decent shot OTKing here, or getting pretty close if we were able to do the play we normally were going to do, which is play Razor, special summon Rappa, banish Gravitino, special summon Palatina, and then that brings out Gravitino, and then we could try and do some stuff from there. But I still don't think we could have OTK'd, so we're just going to go Gravitino here to get the trap. I get Maxi'd every game. I just realized that. Kind of sad. But we grabbed S-Force Chase, our best card. So. And then we get Even Lead. Our opponent's just amazing at this game. Really, truly a hero. So yeah, so this is what I'm going to point out. Game knowledge is super important because when you're playing against Medolce, unless they use their normal summon, you pretty much want to save your bounce for Pudding Cess. So just wait until he summons Pudding Cess. It's not really that big of a deal. Okay, this is cool. He summons Yang Jelly. No point in bouncing this because he hasn't normaled. Boom, boom. He bounced this card. He can't do his combos because the card's a level 5. So even if he tribute summons this, can't do anything. Goes into Sistart. Okay, fine. He can't save his cards though with Sistart's effect. Gonna activate this. We summon Razor, which unfortunately I have a Razor over here, which I can't special summon because you can only special summon the card once, I think, or it has to be a card that's not on the field, something like that. I don't know, but either way, attack. We don't really care about him adding cards to his hand because, like I said, he doesn't really do anything here. And I also have Ash Blossom, so he's just kind of fucked. And I have ready. I have the Hawk Air Squadron too, the Hop Air Squadron. So I could have technically went into extending plays where I go into Baron DeFleur or something for a negate. But yeah, he was pretty fucked. He was pretty fucked. Alrighty, this is the 4th and final game, and this is quite a long one. Our opponent is going to be playing some Gravekeeper Kring shit. He's actually just playing like He's playing 53 card stun. No, he's playing 40 card stun. Never mind. Playing a regular stun deck, so he's just going to go into Necro Valley, which Necro Valley is painful, but it's not like the end of the world. Pod Duality, love to see it. I love to see the Thurzia. The great thing about Thurzia though is this one card. Like, I love Frenzy too. Frenzy's so much fun to play against. We get a one card full combo. So we're gonna activate this. We're gonna activate Shield Bearer. I'm just trying to bait shit out. We're gonna activate Dynamorphia Frenzy. We get to Ash it. Thank God. If we did not Ash this, that shit was gonna be trouble. Definite trouble. If we didn't Ash this. And they play there can only be one. So if you guys don't know, there can be this deck can play really easily through there can only be one. Because all these cards are like different types. The only mistake I make here is like, and it's debatable whether it's a mistake, but it's kind of a mistake. I grab the retroactive, so retroactive I can't actually use its effect because I have a warrior in my hand. That's the only card I can summon. I would technically be able to use its effect if I had a different type of S-Force in my hand. So we're gonna set up Reinforced Truth, so when he kills this, I can use this. Boom, and he draws 3. Neato. Isn't this fun? Do you guys enjoy this? I go into Stardust Dragon because I'm like, well, maybe he's playing like Dogmatic Punishment and stuff, and I could negate it, but this is like really stupid to even do anyway. Because it literally does not matter because he has Necro Valley and Necro Valley makes it so if I use Stardust effects it just doesn't come back to me. There, we're doing Rappa, doing some Rappa stuff. Pop goes the Weasel, goes in Max, fucks me, so cool. I just keep the Stardust because I'm just like, fuck it. Pot of Desires. So when he used Pot of Desires, I'm gonna tell you right now, when he used Pot of Desires, I instantly thought, I'm like, oh, there's my win con. I'm like, I'm just gonna try and outlast him. He has 12 cards left in the deck. I'm like, if I can just live, I'm like Gucci. So here he punishments. I actually just use Stardust's effects just so he doesn't have to send anything, because he had like an extra effect to send. We're just passing. We can take a few hits here, take some damage. Okay, Reinforced Truth. I got my double shifters just in time. Pretty happy about that. Okay, bounce. Pop goes the Weasel. Okay. It's working, dude. Pops my Orifice. Pops everything. Awesome. Set. Now this Gozen match is actually saving me, because now he can't really play anything besides this, and I know he has the other Necro Valley card, which is a dark, which would be a pretty annoying beater. Finds Dogmatic Punishment. Looks like Lapels is not going to live too long. We just have to sit here. Oh, and yeah, so he punishment me. Okay, perfect. Now we got Chase again. Honestly, me bouncing the Necro Valley just didn't make sense. I should just bounce to the Inspector Border. Bouncing this was just really stupid. So now I bounce the Inspector Border. Yeah, so this was a misplay I did. But it's not going to matter because I set my most powerful card in my deck. I'm just better than him at this point. He can't handle the D-Shifter. D-Shifter wins games. I know you guys know this. Yeah, D-Shifter is so good. I was actually afraid of playing a second card because I didn't want to get lava golemed. But once I get down to it, like, he has only like one card left in his deck, I was like, okay, well, if he lava golems me, it's just a bigger monster, right? This was a little spooky. But at the same time, I wasn't too terrified. And then he just sets it. It's pretty much GG from here. It just shows that this deck's really broken and can outplay stun, which I really think that's all that matters. The D-shifter, set D-shifter pass was probably the game-winning play here, which makes me amazing at the game. Let's go to the recap and talk about the deck. Hello and welcome to the recap. Thank you for watching this far. If you guys enjoy this type of content, please subscribe and hit that notification bell. Helps me out greatly, and don't you want to help your papa out? Just do it. Just do it for me. Also, join our Discord. The Discord link is down below. And if you're watching this video on the day of release, which is Friday, just know that on Twitch TV, we do host tournaments on Fridays at 6 p.m. Eastern. So if you guys are interested in that, come join the Discord and figure out what the rule set is. We're having an anti-spell tournament today, and we have a separate ban list too with that. So there's not going to be like floodgates and stuff like that. So let's talk about how the deck performed. So I started off at D3, right, close to D2, and we ended off the stream at D5. So how do you guys think it performed? Not very well. So we did win some games. I will say I got a bit unlucky with how many times my opponents just had answers. But for the most part, this deck is just not good. There's no way of making this archetype work. And no offense to Ace Yu-Gi-Oh! Because like, he just probably made the best deck he could. Because I tried making this deck with like tons of different avenues, trying making it a stun deck where I was playing like D-Fissure, D-Shifter, because this deck can play through that pretty easily, playing all these cards, and like it's just bad too. The deck was just bad. If you didn't open any of your floodgates, you just lost, which is pretty much what this deck is. If you don't open the perfect cards, you just lose. Yeah, the deck is just not good. And like I said, it's no fault to the person who made this. It's just this archetype's just not good. He gave it a 6 out of 10 in his video. I would argue that this is lower than a 6 out of 10. I would probably say even like a 4 out of 10. Like, the archetype is just super weak. It's also missing its Link 1 monster, which definitely hurts it a bit. It definitely, because if you have the Link 1 monster, then you could probably play Parallel Exceed, and you can play Parallel Exceed, which makes you be able to play Baguska, which lets you survive a turn like much easier at least. But for the most part, this deck just sucks ass. Super bad. We went on like massive losing streaks. Like I would go on like a 3-game win streak, and then I would lose like 8 games in a row. And like, I don't think it was me piloting it. Like, I'm gonna be real. I think there was sometimes a misplay I might have done that might have cost me a total of like 2 games out of the night. But I'm pretty sure it's just the deck, the archetype. The archetype's just weak. Super weak. It's not only like, if this card is just so bad. So Rapper is unironically the best card in the deck, but it's also like just a bad card, because when this card, you can activate, banish this S-Force card, right? And since this banishes for cost, and then it doesn't return at the same time, if your opponent ashes or imperms or anything, you just banish a card for no reason. You just neg 1 and this card stays on the field. Mainly Ash is like not that big of a deal, because you can argue like, okay, well, if you got Ash, it is what it is. But it's more of like Imperm, Veiler, like all these other like micro, like if your opponent's playing Tier Limit, like Soliak, like all these cards just stop your whole combo, and it makes you neg 1. Like, it's just not a good card. I feel like if this card was much better, then maybe this deck could do more. It's still kind of in like an awkward space though. Like, your whole board breaking is like either based off of Justify, which again, your opponent will just stop you from going into this. If you're going second, like, they probably have something built. And your other way of breaking the board is going to be through, like, most likely using the traps to bounce a bunch of shit. Don't get me wrong, I think it would be super satisfying to have like 3-4 like S-Force cards on the field, and then like activating Chase and like banishing all the cards you bounce. I think that would be pretty satisfying. The problem is it's just not realistic. It's just not really going to play out like that. And this is like, I played a lot of games of this archetype, like, because I was testing out this archetype with other decks, like I was testing it out with Stun. I was testing it out with trying to make a different type of combo deck. It's just none of these decks work out. It's just not a good. So if I had to recommend you playing this deck or not playing this deck, I would say just don't play it. Just avoid this archetype. It is cheap though. Like I said, it only has like one UR that's like specific to the archetype. Like all these are kind of generic. You know what I mean? But it's just not worth your time. Not worth the headache, especially when you can just play like a much better deck, like that True Draco deck profile you seen me post a few days ago. Like that deck's just 1,000 times better than this. That deck is way cheaper than this too, which is hilarious. Skull, yeah. So on scale of 1 to 10, I'd probably give it like a 4 or 5, probably a 4, and then on a scale, like a tier scale, I'd put it in absolute vile garbage tier. Like I'm pretty sure I could probably just throw a bunch of cards together and just make something that's more coherent than this archetype. Again, no fault to Ace Yu-Gi-Oh. He did the best he could with this. I mean, it's not really not much of his fault. This archetype just sucks ass. It's not good. I don't know what to tell you. I knew it was gonna be a fucking issue once I was like looking up like seeing how other people have built this in the past in like OCG and TCG, and like this deck has no tournament wins or no tournament not top 64s or anything, like 0 top 64s in the past like fucking 2 years, like 3 years, 4 years. It's pretty fucking bad. I don't even know when this archetype came out, but like I looked pretty far back and I didn't see any top 8. So all right. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video though, and you don't hate me for having the shit deck posted, but at least I hope I stopped some people from building it. And for the people who just read my thumbnail and just built it immediately and didn't actually watch the video, I think it's kind of funny that you built it. Now you get to suffer with me, so deal with that. Other than that, I hope you guys enjoy your weekend. All right, goodbye.